Hey, Shalom, Meshara. When it started off, souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshua, Hashem, Kodash, the blood of the apostles of GMS, and honesty, brothers doing the work and truth, while sincerity. This one is inspired by the statement Apostle Taha made of the new boogeyman running through the spirit, something that was that I'd been reasoning on, and it's this thing about how Esau always creates a boogeyman and then attacks the boogeyman, and that, or rather uses that as a way of justifying his attacks on on someone. You go back to when he first arrived in America, for instance, right? What did he say? He said, "Oh, these guys are savages," right? And he used that to justify the wickedness that he does to them. Then the next one I remember off the top of my head, he goes to what do you call it, for communism, right? He's talking about, oh, this guy's a communist, they're a communist, and that's justifying whatever thing that they choose to do, right? For instance, you look at the I forget which country it was, but the Banana Republic. I remember, I forget exactly, but I remember someone there was labeled, oh, that so and so is a communist, and that gave them the precedence, or rather justification, to go and do whatever they wanted, right? Rather they used that as their justification, right, to do whatever it is that they wanted. Right, and then what do you call it? Then 2001 happened. Then now the new word is terrorist. Oh, so and so is a terrorist. Right, so then we need to go and end terrorism. Right, and then now what do you call it? It's coronavirus. Right, that's the new boogeyman. Right, oh, we have to do this because he might have the coronavirus. Oh, he doesn't get tested. Well, he wants you to get the coronavirus. So if he doesn't get the test, if he doesn't get vaccinated, he's scaring you, right? So it's these boogeymen that Esau creates, right? And it's what you call it? It's sort of what you do with a child. You want to scare a child into behaving, you create a boogeyman, right? And in the eyes of Esau, all of these people are children. That's how he designed them to be, which is why they cannot think for themselves, right? And ultimately, they've been blinded by the Most High, right? So this is Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, right? So never trust anything that this man says, right? He puts out a press release, right? You gotta, what do you call it? You gotta be, okay, cool. What's going on in this press release? What actually, if he gives you a stat, you gotta look into that stat, man. But you can't trust this devil for shit. Case in point, the Panama Deception. When you watch that documentary, right? I believe at first they said only 200 people died. Then I believe they eventually put the death toll to 2,000, but the locals said it was more like 20,000, right? So this man, he can't be trusted for shit. Or another another thing on this man and his lies, when he's counting civilian collateral damage, right? If, for instance, you had a a terrorist in Afghanistan or Iraq who's walking, whatever, what have you, and he's amongst a bunch of people. Let's say he's around 10 people, right? Doesn't necessarily know these 10 people, just around 10 people, and a US drone strike kills him and the 10 people around him. They will not be counted as civilian casualties, right? Because he was amongst them people, right? And it, once again, just showing you how whenever this man brings out any data, right, you gotta look into it. Sort of like COVID right now. You look into what counts as a COVID death. Basically, if you died and they tested that you had COVID, despite the fact of whether you died of COVID, you might have died from a car crash, but you had COVID. That is a COVID death. You understand? Right? So this is this man's deception, right? Which is why you can't trust anything he says. Which is why ultimately the only thing we can do that we have is to filter everything out through the scriptures. Right, it says, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness, right? And that's some science, right? Iron will rust, right? Basically meaning his wickedness will show, Right? It's as though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Right? So he will come, he'll say all the nice things, he'll speak that smooth talk, right? But don't trust him. It's not 51, it's Psalms, what is it again? Psalm 50, 21. 55:21. It's like it got there in the end. Right, it says Psalms 55:21. It says the words of his. I'll start from 20, man. It says, He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. Right, but the people of the earth, they're just trying to live their life. Right, but Esau says, no, you can't just live your life. I want to chip you. Right, I'm gonna, create these false things, and then I'm gonna do such and such, and at the end of it, I'm gonna chip you all. Right, I'm gonna stick vaccines all up in your system. Right, and even Boris Johnson, man, in today's speech, right, today is what, May the 11th, right, today's speech, what did he say? He said, in however many years there's been a SARS, we've still not found a SARS virus. I think he said 8 or 18 years of SARS. I forget which one, but he said we still don't have a SARS vaccine, right? So then how are you going to trust anything that was, rushed through in 18 months? If SARS and coronavirus are the same family, how can one have a virus and a vaccine and the other doesn't, right? It says it says he hath broken his covenant, right? So namely, you look at Gad and Reuben, right? The Native American so-called and Seminole Indian so-called, right? He went over there to land of America, wouldn't have survived, right? But our brothers Gad and Reuben helped them survive, and then Esau killed them, right? Made loads of different treaties with them and broke every single one of them. Right, so the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So he'll talk the sweet talk, right? He'll talk the sweet talk, right? Oh, we've got to go kill them Afghanis and Iraqis because they're gonna bring terror and kill you. So then the American people, yeah, go do that. And anyone who speaks against that is like, wait, hang about, that doesn't make any sense. Them guys just are goat herders in Afghanistan, right? They don't even know what the Twin Towers are. Why are we going and killing them? Do you know what they then say? Oh, what, you're a terrorist sympathizer, right? Why? Because of that boogeyman that's created, they can do all manner of things. They can hit several different angles, right? It says, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? So once again, we need to keep you indoors for your own safety, right? Otherwise, you might get the coronavirus. Right? But here it is. You're indoors. Your immune system's getting worse because you're indoors. You ain't getting any sunlight. You ain't getting exercise. Right? A whole host of different things, right? Yeah, but what's all that doing to you? It's killing you, man. Right, and then you're gonna go back into the real world, right? After having a compromised immune system, and guess what? You're gonna get sick, right? This is carry on in Sirach, the 12th chapter. It says, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. Right, so you really look at this guy, you realize this is the same devil doing the same devilish things. Nothing's changed. Ain't nothing changed. Right, this is just this man's way. Right, he doesn't know any better. Right, and thou shalt know that his wrath hath not been altogether wiped away. Right. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna get. Just a quick one. Yeah, man. Hey, brothers, let's what you call, all keep vigilant, right? And look and be wary of the times, because the times are evil, as scriptures say, right? So as always, Lord's what I was edifying. To the next time, shalom.